So to do number 2, the first thing you have to get is the horizontal asymptote. So how do I get horizontal asymptotes off of number 2? I have to look at the degrees. What are the degrees that I'm looking at? Square and square. So 2 and 2. So what are those? Those are the same, correct? So then how do you do the asymptotes? If they're the same, top number over bottom number. Okay, so what is my asymptote? Y equals -1 over 1, which is really just -1. Any questions on that? Now, if I'm looking at number 2, and I say to factor, and I'm seeing this right here, some of you are putting, you're doing like -x and then an x, which is fine. I mean, that works. But have you ever seen me do that? No. How can I make that maybe a little bit easier on myself? Yeah, if I take out that -1, what would a -1 do? Change the sign of x squared, change the sign of 3x, and change the sign of 4. Are you with me? All right, now what could you do? What do? We're on the factor step. I factored out a -1. Now you can actually factor it. So let's factor it. So negative, and then how would I get an x squared? And how would I get a -4 and then a 3 right here? Over. Who has questions on those? How we get at least there? You with me?
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't get this far, some of you may have -x minus 4 and then an x plus 4. Those are not the same. You can't cross those out. Okay? So what do? Can I cross something out here? So what crosses out are the x plus 4s. So if it crosses out, it becomes a whole. So I take x plus 4, set it equal to 0, and where does my whole occur at? At -4. How do I find where it occurs at y-wise? Yeah, well, be careful. Which one? That's almost perfect, but no. What canceled out? Only the x plus 4s. What do I have left? It would be -x minus 1 over x minus 2. Where did this negative come from? Right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would put in negative and then -4 minus 1 over and then -4 minus 2, which equals, what's -4 minus 1? Have to do inside first. -4 minus 1. -4 minus 1. -5. -5. Positive. Over. Negative 5, 6. So where's my hole? Negative 4, comma, negative 5, 6. Who has questions? All right, how do I find the asymptote? The vertical asymptote. Set the bottom one equal to 0. Which one do I not worry about? The one I crossed out, right? I don't worry about this x plus 4 because I crossed it out. That's a hole. X minus 2 is left on the bottom. So x minus 2 equals 0. X equals 2 is the vertical asymptote. Who has questions? Any more follow-up questions on that one?
You do the domain of the range. Just see if I got it right.
What's the domain of this one?
I did all rows except 2 and negative 4.
Yep. Domain is all reals except 2 and negative 4. And what's the... It's tricky on these because of what you need to know. So I don't know. I will not count it against you. All right. Range is the all reals except
2 and negative 5, 6.
negative 5, 6. I'll agree to. What's the y? Negative 1. Where'd the negative 1 come from?
The horizontal.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions? Number 5.
On number 3, to find the vertical. I'm not sure what to do with the bottom.
Set it equal to 0.
So
Solve for x. Watch the problem I'm about to do, and that will help you.
okay.
All right, so here we go. Number 5. All right, what's the first step? What do I have to find first? Horizontal. So what are some horizontal asymptotes here?
0.
Why is it y equals 0?
Top bigger than
Top is 1.
Oh, was that the
Bottom is what? 2. Any questions? Two says to factor. All right, what do I do? Can I factor the top? No. What's this one factored? Take out a GCF of negative 2 and an x. I have an x in both of those. What's that leave me with?
X plus 3.
Any questions? Okay, 3 says holes. Are there any holes?
No.
Why not? Nothing will cross out, right? Okay, and the last thing is vertical asymptotes. So how do I find vertical asymptotes? Set the bottoms equal to 0. Now this one right here is different than your number 1. On your number 1, let's go over here at a side note. You had negative 3x cubed plus 27. Is that correct? Yeah, right here. When you factored that and got this, if these if I said, what are your asymptotes here? Would you set that -3 equal to 0? No, because what does it not have with it? An x. So it's not going to make an asymptote. You with me? But this one's different. Is this going to make an asymptote? Does it have an x with it? Yeah, so I set it equal to 0, Tanner. And I set x plus 3 equal to 0 because it didn't cancel out either, did it? So solve for x. I divide by -2. So 0 divided by -2 is 0. And then I subtract 3, so x minus 3. So what's my vertical asymptote? 0. X equals 0, x equals -3. Are there any questions? Any more of those that are throwing you off? No. So on number 1, let's just recap here. Number 1, this bottom will be able to factor. So you could factor a -3 out, and then you're going to be able to factor what you get after that. Number 2, I just did, didn't I? Yeah. Number 3, will the top factor? Yes, into x plus 2x minus 2. Will number 4 factor? Yes, number 4 will factor both the top and the bottom. Number 5, I just did, didn't I? Right. What about number 6? Will those factor? Yes, both of them will. Remember, you can always take a negative out and change all the signs. That helps you a lot. All right. Any more? All right, go take a break real quick. You can go.